Hey everyone, so today we're going to be pruning our Panicle hydrangeas, specifically our Limelight hydrangeas in the front of the house today. We're in a zone 7B, so we're heading into the second week of February, so we're going to go ahead and prune those hydrangeas. If you're in a lower zone than a 7B, you probably want to wait a little bit till late winter, maybe early spring, depending on how your temperatures are fluctuating right now. It's been pretty cold around here, but this is right around the time where we want to go ahead and prune those hydrangeas to get some better growth. We're going to go ahead and head to the front, show you guys how to prune those before the landscapers come and do that for us, because we want to be able to go ahead and prune those the right way rather than landscapers just coming and cutting just right across the top on those guys. So let's go ahead and head over to the front and we'll talk a little bit about those pruning. All right, so here are our Limelight hydrangeas, and as you can see, they've got a lot of dry blooms on them. We didn't bother to touch them at all, specifically because I think it's just an aesthetic look. We like the dry hydrangeas. We like the way it looks, especially when it snows around here. If I have some photos of that, we'll go ahead and pop those up. But yeah, this is basically what they look like. And I think when the landscapers and maintenance comes around, they see this and they just tend to want to chop them right across in the midsection somewhere without any rhyme or reason. So we're gonna go ahead and get in there, prune some of the stuff that needs to be pruned out and give it a nice shape, and basically talk about how much you should prune them and what to expect from these Panicle hydrangeas. So let's go ahead and get in there real quick. Okay, so as I stated earlier, we usually have the landscapers come here and do this, so we want to go ahead and prune it the right way. And the right way by doing this is what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get the thicker growth, and the thicker growth is going to have these dried hydrangea blooms already on there. So we're going to prune those back about 2/3. We're going to do it the right way because we want to make some more room in here to get into those spindly growth that we definitely want to take off. But for these bigger ones, like I said, we're going to go down about 2/3 of the way, and we're going to basically find a node, and we're going to prune right at the about 1/2 inch above that node. All right, so one thing I forgot to mention when I'm doing this is there's already some signs of spring happening. So as you can see, there's some daffodils and stuff popping up here. You want to be very, very careful with that because, again, there's signs of spring popping up. Pretty excited that these daffodils are actually coming back and they're actually tripling. I actually saw some crocus coming up as well, so that's pretty exciting. But I want to be careful when I'm pruning up here because, again, we're on a hill. I don't want to accidentally step on something. And we do have some plans for this bed, like I keep mentioning. We're pretty excited about that. But again, just want to be real careful going behind these hydrangeas and being in this area here so I don't damage any of these daffodils that are popping up here. There are some healthy looking ones that are pretty thick, but not as thick that are crossing a whole bunch of stuff. And that, unfortunately, I am going to take out because I don't want any of these branches crossing each other. It just makes for a mess whenever you get back here and try to maintain it throughout the season, especially for us being on this hill. We want to prune out, you know, that messy crossing branches so we have an idea of what to keep looking at when we're doing this. All right, so now that we got most of the big, thicker growth, we're going to go ahead and get rid of all this spindly stuff. As you can see, this is just a complete mess. And it's got all these little buds that we had that definitely don't do well when it rains here. It just weighs all these smaller buds down, and with that growth being weighed down, it brings these thicker ones down as well. So it's not a pleasant sight to see when you see all this weighed down completely. So we're gonna get rid of all this spindly growth, and hopefully all we have growing in the season is gonna be from this thicker growth right here that's gonna be able to support itself and not be weighed down by all the smaller branches. So you can see if I barely push down here, it's moving all this right here. So we're gonna get rid of all the spindly growth down here and just make it a nice, healthy looking shrub with this thicker growth up here on top. All right, now here at the crown of the hydrangea, you have a bunch of little spindly growth. I'm just gonna get rid of all that. Again, like I said, I don't want a lot of that stuff sending energy to just these little baby hydrangea blooms that we had this season. So it's gonna look pretty bare down here, but we wanna get rid of all that spindly growth that's down here and just minimize everything. So like this one here, it's not really gonna, it's gonna grow kind of weird if it does grow. It's gonna, and I did a bad job there, but it's gonna grow kind of weird because if it does grow, it's gonna cross into everything else, and that's not what we really want. So anything that could potentially cross as it gets bigger, we're gonna go ahead and try to prune out completely. So there's no crossing branches throughout the rest of this bush as it grows. So much more drastic look compared to what it looked like when we first started. There was a lot of spindly growth here that we actually cut out. From the bottom here, it looked pretty terrible, but we want this new season, we want most of the energy to be focused into these bigger branches here to provide bigger and healthier blooms and to be able to hold itself up a little bit better rather than having all the small growth here. We have some pretty exciting ideas for the bed here this year. I'm falling back here again because like I said, I'm on a slope, but we have some pretty exciting ideas of what to do here in this bed, and we want to kind of limit how much of this growth is actually going to fall over into the front of this bed here. But it's pretty easy, like I said, to prune these hydrangeas here. So the Panicle hydrangeas, like I said, I know I said wait a little bit later if you're in a lower zone, but to be honest, if you prune them now, it's not really going to affect it too much. These Panicle hydrangeas are going to bloom no matter what. I mean, you can prune when you actually see buds starting to come out, and it's still not going to affect it because these are going to bloom on new growth. It's not an old growth hydrangea, so you're going to see some blooms no matter what. So we still do have a couple more hydrangeas to do. We have some standard hydrangeas that we want to do. We'll do those on a video as well to show the difference between pruning a hydrangea in the ground and a hydrangea in a standard form, because it's a little bit different. We want a little bit different shape for those because obviously they are up a little bit higher. Then we have some smooth hydrangeas and oak leaf hydrangeas and macrophylla hydrangeas, which don't need much pruning, but the smooth hydrangeas and the other paniculatas we have, we'll definitely do a video on those, especially the standards, to show you guys exactly how we're gonna prune those to have that nice shape in a standard form. Again, if you have any questions on pruning these hydrangeas or any other pruning hydrangeas that we have here in our garden, you can go ahead and check out some of those videos that we have done in the past as far as pruning and fertilizing and basically how to maintain those hydrangeas. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.